Life, they say, is a game of chance. Some are born with silver spoons, others with calloused hands. But what if the game isn't about the hand you're dealt, but the choices you make, the person you become, when faced with the most impossible odds? Today, we unravel a tale of two sisters, the stolen dream, and a billionaire's intricate game, where the true prize was far more valuable than anyone could have imagined. In the bustling heart of a city that never slept, where skyscrapers touched the clouds and poverty clung to the shadows, lived Maya Jenkins. Maya was a testament to the human spirit's resilience. Her days were a relentless cycle of work, scrubbing floors, waiting tables, mending clothes, anything to keep a roof over her head and food on the table for herself and her younger sister, Sophia Hayes. Maya was the anchor, the steady flame in their modest home, her hands rough, but her heart an unyielding beacon of hope. "There's always a way," she'd often whisper to herself, even when it's hard. It was her mantra, her shield against the daily grind. Sophia, on the other hand, saw the world through a different lens. She was beautiful, ambitious, and utterly convinced that she was destined for more than the life Maya painstakingly built for them. She yearned for the glittering world glimpsed in magazines and on television, the lavish parties, the designer clothes, the effortless luxury. Sophia resented their humble beginnings, not out of malice for Maya, but out of a deep-seated frustration with her own perceived fate. She believed she deserved better, and that the universe owed her a shortcut to escape the struggles Maya embraced with quiet dignity. Across town, in an ivory tower that commanded a breathtaking view of the city, resided Arthur Sterling. Arthur was not just a name, he was an empire, a legend whispered in boardrooms and revered in financial hubs. A billionaire's wealth was as immense as his reputation for cunning and strategic brilliance. Arthur saw the world as a grand chessboard, and people often were his pieces. He was a man of few words, each one measured, precise, and carrying the weight of empires. He often mused, "Time is the ultimate currency," a philosophy that guided his every move, every grand design. He observed the world, analyzed its inhabitants, and, in his detached way, sought to understand the very fabric of human nature. Arthur wasn't driven by simple greed, he was driven by legacy, by the subtle power of orchestrating lives, of shaping destinies, even if from a distance. Our story truly begins with an opportunity, a lifeline thrown into the turbulent waters of Maya and Sophia's lives. Arthur Sterling, in one of his rare public philanthropic gestures, announced a groundbreaking initiative. It wasn't just a scholarship or a job, it was a comprehensive program designed to uplift a deserving individual from a disadvantaged background, providing not only an elite education and a lucrative position within his vast enterprise, but also a pathway to integration into the upper echelons of society. The culmination of this program, a rumor had it, was a prestigious social introduction, perhaps even a potential marital alliance with a suitable partner from Arthur's influential network. The prize was dizzying, a true rags-to-riches fairy tale. Maya, with her quiet intelligence and relentless work ethic, applied with a simple, pure heart. She saw it as a chance to secure a future for both herself and Sophia, a way to finally lift the burden from her tired shoulders. Sophia, however, saw it as her personal lottery ticket, a direct route to the life she believed she was born for. Two sisters, one dream, but starkly different intentions, standing on the precipice of a decision that would redefine their lives forever.
Months later, the letter arrived. It was addressed to Maya Jenkins, thick with the official seal of the Sterling Foundation. Maya's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, a formal invitation to an exclusive interview, a flight itinerary to Arthur Sterling's private estate, and the crucial document, a CRE-approved special visa for an international cultural exchange program, the gateway to this life-altering opportunity. She had been shortlisted. Out of thousands, she had been chosen. A wave of overwhelming emotion washed over Maya. Tears of joy, relief, and sheer exhaustion streamed down her face. She had done it, not just for herself, but for Sophia, for the hope of a brighter future for them both. Sophia, witnessing Maya's uncharacteristic outburst of emotion, peered over her shoulder. Her eyes scanned the documents, focusing on the visa, the flight details, the explicit mention of Arthur Sterling. A seed of an idea, dark and insidious, began to sprout in her mind. Her heart pounded, not with shared joy, but with a sudden, suffocating envy. Why Maya? Why not her? She was prettier, more charming, more suited, she believed, to the world of the wealthy. Maya was too earnest, too simple. That night, as Maya slept soundly, dreaming of a future free from struggle, Sophia crept into her room. Her hands trembled as she carefully extracted the visa and all supporting documents from Maya's worn handbag. Her conscience screamed at her, a faint, desperate plea, but it was drowned out by the seductive whispers of ambition and the glittering promise of a life beyond imagination. There's more to life than money, eventually, Sophia had often rationalized, but in this moment, it was only money, only status, that mattered. This was her chance. She would become Maya for a little while and seize the future she believed was rightfully hers. The next morning, Maya awoke to a chilling realization. The envelope was empty. The visa, the tickets, everything, gone. Panic seized her. She searched frantically, her breath catching in her throat, her mind racing. She confronted Sophia, her voice raw with a dawning horror. "Sophia, have you seen my documents? The visa? The Sterling Foundation letter?" Maya's voice cracked, hope giving way to a sickening dread. Sophia met her gaze, a mask of feigned innocence plastered on her face. "No, Maya, why would I? Are you sure you didn't misplace them?" Her voice was steady, too steady. Maya knew, deep in her gut. She saw the subtle flicker in Sophia's eyes, the slight shift in her posture, a profound sense of betrayal, colder and sharper than any poverty she had ever known, pierced her heart. You took them, didn't you?" It wasn't a question, but a desolate accusation. Sophia's facade cracked. A defiant glint entered her eyes. "And what if I did? You would waste it. You'd go there, be polite, be grateful, and come back with a better job maybe. But me, I can live that life. I deserve it. I will make something of it, for both of us." The words tumbled out, a desperate justification. Maya stared at her sister, unable to comprehend the depth of this betrayal. This wasn't just a stolen opportunity. It was a stolen identity, a stolen dream, a stolen part of herself. The flight was in 2 days. There was no time to replace the visa, to explain. Her future, snatched away in the dead of night by her own kin. "How could you, Sophia?" Maya's voice was barely a whisper, devoid of anger, filled only with profound sorrow. "This was for us." Sophia turned away, unwilling to meet Maya's devastated gaze. "You'll understand one day, Maya. When I'm living the life we both dreamed of, you'll thank me." With that, she packed a small bag, leaving Maya alone in the silent, suffocating aftermath of her ambition. Sophia left, taking Maya's documents, Maya's identity, and Maya's hopes with her.
Sophia's journey was a whirlwind of first-class travel and luxurious accommodations, all under the name of Maya Jenkins. She arrived at the Sterling estate, a magnificent edifice of glass and steel, nestled amidst sprawling gardens. The sheer scale of wealth was dizzying, intimidating, yet thrilling. She was introduced to the elite, attended exclusive briefings, and began her intensive training within Arthur Sterling's vast company. Each day, she played the part of the earnest, intelligent young woman from a disadvantaged background, carefully mimicking the persona she imagined Maya would project. She learned to navigate the complex social graces of the wealthy, to speak with poise, and to carry herself with an air of quiet confidence she didn't truly possess. Arthur Sterling himself was a formidable presence. He observed Sophia with a calm, almost unnerving intensity. His eyes, though often distant, seemed to pierce through any pretense. Sophia found herself constantly on edge, paranoid that he would see through her charade. She noticed that he rarely engaged in superficial small talk. Instead, he would pose thought-provoking questions, often related to ethics, social responsibility, and the true meaning of success. Sophia, relying on her quick wit and superficial charm, managed to navigate these conversations, always giving the right answers, the answers she believed a truly virtuous person would give. She spoke eloquently of empathy, of lifting others, of the importance of integrity, all while her heart hammered with the secret knowledge of her own deceit. Meanwhile, back in the city, Maya was left shattered but not broken. The betrayal had cut deep, leaving an open wound. Yet her spirit, though wounded, refused to yield. "There's always a way, even when it's hard," she repeated to herself, even as tears blurred her vision. She knew she couldn't simply let Sophia get away with it, not for revenge, but for the principle, for the truth. She began to work even harder, taking on extra shifts, saving every penny.
She researched, she asked questions, she started piecing together the subtle clues left behind by Sophia. She managed to secure a low-paying job cleaning offices in the very building where the Sterling Foundation had its public outreach department. It was a long shot, but she needed to be close, to find an entry point, however small. One evening, while cleaning the Sterling Foundation's offices after hours, Maya overheard snippets of a conversation. A junior assistant was discussing the phenomenal progress of the Maya Jenkins, who was now under Mr. Sterling's personal tutelage. The assistant mentioned a final assessment and a grand announcement taking place at the Sterling estate in a few weeks, an event that was being dubbed a celebration of new beginnings. Maya's blood ran cold. This was it. Sophia was moving closer to claiming the ultimate prize. Driven by an urgent need, Maya spent every spare moment investigating. She learned about Arthur Sterling's reputation for rigorous character assessments, his penchant for testing individuals in unexpected ways. She began to suspect that this opportunity wasn't just about merit, but about something deeper, something Arthur was looking for beyond mere qualifications. She learned that a core tenet of the program was to assess the integrity and authentic spirit of the candidate. She also found an obscure clause in the program's guidelines that stated any participant found to have falsified their identity or credentials would be immediately disqualified, and their benefactor, if one existed, would also face severe repercussions. This gave her a glimmer of hope.
Sophia, living Maya's life, felt the pressure mounting. She was constantly under scrutiny, not just from Arthur Sterling, but from the entire Sterling family network. She had to attend charity galas, mingle with influential figures, and participate in complex business simulations. She was good at the superficial aspects, charming conversations, polite smiles, elegant gestures. But deep down, she felt a profound emptiness. The life she had stolen was demanding, and every success felt hollow, built on a lie. She often wondered if Maya would have handled it better, with genuine grace and less pretense. She began to see the cracks in the gilded cage she had built for herself. There's more to life than money, eventually, she'd remind herself. But the eventually felt increasingly distant, overshadowed by the constant fear of exposure. One afternoon, Arthur Sterling called Sophia into his private study. The room was vast, filled with ancient books and rare artifacts, a silent testament to his accumulated knowledge and power. He gestured for her to sit, his gaze unwavering. "Maya," he began, his voice calm, "tell me, what does integrity truly mean to you?" Sophia's heart leaped into her throat. She swallowed, composing herself. "Integrity, Mr. Sterling, is the unwavering commitment to one's moral principles, even when it's difficult. It's about honesty, transparency, and doing what is right, regardless of the consequences." She recited the textbook definition perfectly, a practiced smile on her face. Arthur simply nodded, his expression unreadable. "And what of sacrifice? Where does it fit into your definition of a meaningful life?" Sophia hesitated, then replied, "Sacrifice is about putting others before oneself, about making personal concessions for the greater good, or for those we love." She thought of Maya for a fleeting moment, and a pang of guilt, sharp and unwelcome, pricked at her. "Indeed," Arthur said, leaning back in his chair. "And what would you sacrifice, Maya, for a truly meaningful life?" Sophia's mind raced. What did he want to hear? "Everything, Mr. Sterling. My comfort, my personal desires, if it meant upholding my principles and making a true impact." She spoke with a conviction she hoped sounded genuine. Arthur held her gaze for a long moment, then a faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. "Fascinating," he murmured. "Time is the ultimate currency, Maya, and how one chooses to spend it, to invest it, reveals everything." He then dismissed her, leaving Sophia with a chilling sense that she had perhaps said too much or not enough, and Arthur Sterling saw far more than he let on. Maya, meanwhile, continued her relentless pursuit of truth. She learned about the grand announcement scheduled at the Sterling estate, an elaborate social event, a public unveiling of the successful candidate, and perhaps the rumored marital alliance. The date was set. She knew she had to get there. She saved diligently, sacrificing meals, sleep, and comfort. She finally had enough for a bus ticket, a cheap dress, and a desperate gamble. She arrived in the city where the Sterling estate stood, a shadow in the opulent crowd, determined to reclaim her name, her identity, and expose the deception. She had no plan, no invitation, only her unwavering resolve. "There's always a way, even when it's hard," she whispered to herself, as she approached the imposing gates of the Sterling estate, a pauper at the door of paradise, carrying nothing but the truth. The night of the grand announcement arrived, a spectacle of opulence and power.
The Sterling estate glittered under a canopy of stars, adorned with 1,000 twinkling lights. Limousines lined the winding driveway, depositing the city's elite onto a red carpet. Inside, a ballroom pulsed with the hum of sophisticated chatter, the clinking of champagne flutes, and the soft strains of a live orchestra.
Sophia, dazzling in an exquisite gown, stood beside Arthur Sterling himself, her heart pounding with a mix of triumph and terror. She had made it. She was here, playing the part of the future bride, the new face of the Sterling legacy. Her name, Maya Jenkins, was on everyone's lips, whispered with admiration and envy. She had convinced everyone, or so she thought. She glanced at Arthur, who stood beside her, his face inscrutable, a faint, almost imperceptible smirk playing on his lips. His gaze swept over the crowd, assessing, calculating, his true intentions as veiled as ever. Suddenly, the ballroom doors opened, and a hush fell over the crowd. All eyes turned to the entrance. But it wasn't a late-arriving dignitary or a celebrity making a grand entrance. It was Maya. She stood there, a stark contrast to the glittering assembly. Her simple dress, though clean, was clearly out of place. Her hair was pulled back simply, her face devoid of makeup, but her eyes held a fierce, unwavering determination that silenced the room more effectively than any security guard. She looked exhausted, travel-worn, but utterly resolute. She had bypassed the security, found an unlocked service entrance, and walked directly into the heart of the celebration. "Who is that?" someone whispered. "Security," another hissed. Arthur Sterling, standing at the podium, a microphone in his hand, did not flinch. His eyes met Maya's across the crowded room, and a flicker, perhaps of recognition, perhaps of approval, crossed his face. He simply waited, observing. Sophia, upon seeing Maya, felt a tidal wave of blood drain from her face. Her carefully constructed facade crumbled in an instant. Her breath caught in her throat, a cold dread seizing her. The game was up. This was it. Maya, her voice clear and strong despite the tremor in her hands, addressed the room. "My name is Maya Jenkins, and I am here to reclaim what was stolen from me." The murmuring in the crowd intensified. Gasps were heard. All eyes darted between the two sisters, the elegant woman beside Arthur and the determined figure at the door. Sophia tried to speak, but her voice failed her. Arthur Sterling, however, stepped forward, his calm voice cutting through the rising clamor. "Indeed," he stated, his gaze fixed on Maya, "and you are welcome here, the true Maya Jenkins." He then turned to Sophia, a cold, piercing look in his eyes. Sophia Hayes, or should I say the imposter, who has been living a lie under a stolen identity. The revelation hit the ballroom like a thunderclap. Sophia reeled back, visibly shaking. The crowd gasped, a wave of shock rippling through the elegant assembly. Maya, her voice clear and strong despite the tremor in her hands, addressed the room. "My name is Maya Jenkins, and I am here to reclaim what was stolen from me." The murmuring in the crowd intensified. Gasps were heard. All eyes darted between the two sisters, the elegant woman beside Arthur and the determined figure at the door. Sophia tried to speak, but her voice failed her. Arthur Sterling, however, stepped forward, his calm voice cutting through the rising clamor. "Indeed," he stated, his gaze fixed on Maya, "and you are welcome here, the true Maya Jenkins." He then turned to Sophia, a cold, piercing look in his eyes. Sophia Hayes. The revelation hit the ballroom like a thunderclap. Sophia reeled back, visibly shaking. The crowd gasped, a wave of shock rippling through the elegant assembly. For weeks, Arthur continued, his voice resonating with authority. "I have observed Maya Jenkins. I watched her navigate this world of privilege, answering my questions about integrity, about sacrifice, about truth." He paused, letting the silence build. And while she recited the textbook definitions flawlessly, her very presence here was a testament to the absence of those virtues. He then turned to the stunned crowd. This entire initiative, this program, this rumored marital alliance, was a test not for the intellectually brightest, nor for the most charming, but for the most authentic. It was a search for someone whose spirit remained untainted by hardship, someone whose moral compass was unshakable, someone, in short, who truly embodied the qualities of humility, integrity, and resilience. He then looked directly at Maya, a genuine warmth entering his eyes for the first time. "I knew from the moment Sophia arrived that she was not the person I had selected. My foundation's vetting process is far more rigorous than simple background checks.
We observe, we inquire, we set subtle traps. The real Maya Jenkins, through her application and initial interviews, displayed a unique spirit. A spirit I believed was worth testing.
Arthur walked slowly towards Maya, his every step commanding attention. I sent a covert team to observe the true Maya Jenkins, how she reacted to the loss of her dream, how she endured hardship, whether she would simply give up or if she would fight for what was right. His voice grew louder, addressing the entire room. And what did we find? We found a woman who, despite devastating betrayal, did not succumb to bitterness. We found a woman who worked tirelessly, not for revenge, but for truth. We found a woman who, with nothing but her will, made her way here tonight to expose a lie and reclaim her identity. He reached Maya, extending a hand to her. Maya Jenkins, you have passed the ultimate test. Your integrity, your resilience, your profound sense of justice, these are the true currencies. Not wealth, not status, but character. And these are the qualities I sought to find. Then came the twist that truly shocked everyone. Arthur turned back to Sophia, his expression firm. As for you, Sophia Hayes, your ambition blinded you. Your deception has cost you everything. The Sterling Foundation cannot tolerate such flagrant disregard for truth. Not only are you disqualified from any future association, but the prestigious position within my company that was to be offered to Maya, I am offering it to her now, a position of genuine influence where her integrity will shape the future. He then looked at the crowd, a wry smile touching his lips. And for those curious about the rich groom and the marital alliance, let me assure you, it was merely part of the elaborate charade, a bait, if you will, to see who was truly after the principles and who was after the superficial trappings of wealth. I, Arthur Sterling, am not seeking a bride through such means. I was seeking a partner in purpose, a true leader of character. The ballroom erupted in a cacophony of whispers, gasps, and a dawning understanding. Sophia stood frozen, exposed, shamed, her dreams of an easy life shattered into a million pieces. Maya, though overwhelmed, felt a profound sense of vindication, not of triumph over her sister, but of truth prevailing. Arthur Sterling, the cunning billionaire, had orchestrated a masterful play, not for personal gain, but to expose the true nature of humanity. The aftermath of that shocking night sent ripples through the city's elite. Sophia Hayes, stripped of her borrowed identity and dreams, vanished from the social scene. The shame of her deception was a weight she could not escape. Her initial resentment morphed into a crushing realization of what she had lost, not just a stolen opportunity, but the trust and respect of her own sister and a chance at genuine self-worth. She was left to confront the emptiness of her ambition, the profound lesson that some shortcuts lead only to deeper valleys. There's more to life than money, eventually, she'd once said. But now the eventually had arrived with a devastating cost. Maya Jenkins, however, began a new chapter, not just with a new job or a new status, but with a renewed spirit. Arthur Sterling, true to his word, brought Maya into his inner circle. She embraced her role at the Sterling Foundation with the same quiet dedication and profound empathy that had defined her humble beginnings. She quickly proved her worth, her insights often cutting through complex problems with a clarity that surprised even seasoned executives. She became a driving force behind new initiatives, focusing on sustainable empowerment and ethical leadership, always remembering the struggles she had overcome.
Arthur Sterling, ever the observer, found an unexpected satisfaction in Maya's genuine rise. He had tested humanity, and in Maya he found the answer he sought, that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in an unyielding character. His initial detachment slowly gave way to a quiet respect for Maya, seeing in her the kind of integrity that could truly leave a lasting legacy. He often reflected, time is the ultimate currency, and he saw that Maya had invested hers in building herself, not just a facade. As for the sisters, their relationship was irrevocably changed. Maya, though deeply hurt, eventually reached out to Sophia, not with anger, but with a quiet understanding of her sister's deep-seated insecurities. It was a long, arduous journey of healing, marked by difficult conversations and painful admissions. Sophia, humbled and stripped of her pretense, slowly began to rebuild her life, starting from the ground up, learning the value of honest work and true connection. She still had a long way to go, but the seeds of genuine growth had been planted. The story of Maya Jenkins became an urban legend, a powerful reminder that while the world often celebrates flash and fortune, it is quiet strength and unwavering integrity that truly define a person. It taught everyone a crucial lesson, that genuine opportunities are often disguised as hard work, and that the greatest rewards are not found in stolen glory, but in the steadfast pursuit of truth. In the end, Arthur Sterling's intricate game was not about finding a bride or simply enriching another individual. It was about proving a point, about revealing the hidden depths of human character. He had demonstrated that true power lies not just in wealth, but in the ability to discern genuine worth, to uplift those who embody true virtues, and to remind us all that in the grand theater of life, the most compelling drama is always found in the authentic human heart. If this story touched your heart, reminds you of the power of integrity, and kept you on the edge of your seat, please give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe to our channel for more tales that explore the depths of human nature. Thank you for watching.